not the best at titles. He's not the best at NBA.
It's gonna be live things where we're doing live reactions to music. Mic checkity, mic checkity, mic checkity. Yes, sir. Coming in with that big noise. Cat's eye. Yeah, man. How you feeling, my G?
Day for the Word of Clarity podcast, man. I'm always excited, man. What's popping? Word, what's good? What's the energy like over there, man?
Hey, the energy's right, man. Right now it is in the wee hours of the night, you know. Not too bad recording that. I kind of like the vibes, you know what I'm saying? Feel like I'm in the studios of ESPN Sports Center with this mug behind me, you know what I'm saying? Like, feels kind of good though, man. What it feel like down there, man?
Listen, I would imagine when Stephen A. record the pod, I know it'd be late at night, bro. He'd be jet lagged, getting off the flight. You know what I'm saying? This remind me of one of those joints, man. So I'm excited, man. Let's get into it. It's been too long since we gave the people what they need, man. So I'm in my bag today, man. There's some wild takes are coming. Some ridiculousness is coming. I'm ready, man. Stop playing with it.
Oh, yeah. You know when Cat ready to let a chamber off if he talking about wild takes on his way, man. What we talking about out here, man? What's going on down there, dog?
Listen, dog. We got this NBA season tournament, which listen, I'm not gonna lie, dog.
Yeah.
I think it's an excellent idea. So I know a lot of people were confused by it in the beginning, but I think just to enlighten people if you're confused, recently I've been doing something that most black folks, you know, saying don't really know about. So I'm gonna inform them, especially here in the Western Hemisphere. I've been playing FIFA, man. I've been playing FIFA at the crib. I've actually been addicted to FIFA. Yeah,
FIFA.
Yeah. FIFA. So normally I'm a 2K guy. I'm a Madden guy. I'm a basketball, football head, and a boxing head. Those are my three sports, you know, that I really hold my expertise on. We don't talk much football in this pod, but I can get in that bag as well. But I say all this to say, recently I was looking for a game to play, and one of the highest rated sports games this year was FIFA 24. So I was like, well, it's now called FC 24. So I was like, all right, let me see what it's talking about. And at first, you know, I don't know the rules of soccer naturally, so I was like, let me see what's popping. Man, I've been like 3 or 4 weeks into it. Can't get off of it, man. Whenever I get a little spare time, I try to play a little bit of it. And really, I'm learning the nuances of the game. And so, what happens throughout a year, especially if you're playing in one of the major leagues out there, in England, they have this thing called the Premier League. But every country, it seems, has like a major league. La Liga, you know, here in the U.S. is Major League Soccer, MLS. And so what happens is in these major leagues, they play what's called cup games, right? And these games are like playoffs throughout the year. And so they get the competitive juices flowing. They get players to feel like yo, there's something to play for even mid-season.
Yeah.
While also the way soccer works a little different, but they tally up the wins every year within the league, and whoever has the most wins and the most points by the end of the year is the team that wins. So I like this in-season tournament because for a long time, we would watch league games in the regular season, and a random game in December wouldn't matter. But now, you lose a random game in December if you get the energy. Like I remember watching, I believe it was the Warriors versus the Timberwolves in the in-season tournament. And that mug felt like we was in June. And I was like, for whatever reason, this is getting them up. And it has the same effect that it has in soccer, which is where the idea came from in the NBA. So I love it, dog. I'm all for it. I'm locked in. And it seems like those are the only games that your Lakers even care about playing, because if it's not an in-season tournament game, these niggas just decide to like fall over and lay down. But you know, I'm with it though. I'm with it. And whatever gets you going, ready to be locked in, focused with that Mamba mentality, I'm for it, bro. So this in-season tournament's been lit. That's what's got me hyped so far, man.
Yeah, I feel it, man. I'm a little indifferent about it. You know what I mean? It is a bit like I wish it had more stakes. You know what I mean? Because what is the prize? $500,000 in Vegas, December 9th, right?
$500,000, and I believe it has some implications for later on down the line. So if there happens to be a space where two teams that were within the play-in tournament were competing for playoff seeding, and they needed to do some type of tiebreaker or something like that, your stock within the tournament could also count towards that later on down the line. So minor details, but details we shouldn't forget moving forward into. It's not anything that anybody's like raving home about. $500,000, a little check for some of the players, and maybe some potential incentive that is even that is not a guarantee. But to me, it's still enough to get you like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? How we gonna get this thing going? Yeah.
No, I feel that it provides, extra incentive somewhat. You know what I mean? Definitely, I'm grateful of it because my Lakers are undefeated this year somehow. I think the motivation for Brian, he's just trying to check off every available MVP in every scenario an MVP exists. I'm sure he got his eye on the Western Conference Finals MVP now. They give MVPs out for that now. The whole.
I was going to say, has he won a conference?
Not a conference Finals MVP yet. He hasn't.
He hasn't been a conference MVP yet. Oh,
no, I think it's only been Jokic, Tatum, Butler, and maybe Curry. I think those are the only four because it's only been around for 2 years. This will be his third year. So
that's right.
What I mean?
That's right.
That's a new category that's out there that now that the in-season tournament has a MVP as well, he's in the race for that. I think he's number 2, the last MVP ladder that came out. But yeah, I'm a bit indifferent about it, man. But we are now at the stage of the in-season tourney where they've released the standings and how the tournament for this cup actually is breaking down to. So it looks like the quarterfinals. You got Suns versus the Lakers, Kings versus Pacers somehow versus Boston. That should be a layup for y'all. And then Knicks versus the Bucks. I like the Western teams matchups more than the East. I can see Boston versus LA would be legendary. I can see
it would.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm going for. Off tops, and then I can see another rematch of Suns versus Bucks. Both of those are final matchups that's happened recently, at least for the Bucks and the Suns. What do you think, man? How you feeling about this tree right here?
Real quick, bro. Let me get the camera, man. Let me get the camera because
Cats want the camera for this madness now.
Let's just gotta go for the.
Hey, you want Jeff Saturday on the camera too with you now?
listen, Jeff, Stephen A. Hold on. Let me talk to y'all while I'm here. Let me say this, man. And I'm dead serious about this. I was listening to Stephen A's pod with KG, and Stephen A asked him the most important question besides the Kobe questions on that podcast, and he said, "What do you think about the Celtics this year?" And KG said, "I didn't want to say it, but all things are lining up for the Celtics for it to be the Celtics year." And of course, the Celtics fan, every year is supposed to be our year that we're in contention. When we have 2 young guys under 30, we have 2 NBA veterans who are both former All-Stars in their own right, and we then we have our 6th man off the bench who was a former All-Star center. It should be our year every year. But let me say this word. I'm gonna say this so it's on the record. This in-season tournament with the Bucks in the next bracket and the Celtics in the other bracket, both of those teams, in my opinion, have layups. The Bucks have the Knicks. The Celtics have the Pacers.
Yep.
This is a measuring stick. You niggas need to figure it out. When you guys go against the Bucks in the finals, you need to treat this like a playoff game. I will not accept you going out there and laying down against a team that is looking to measure you up come May. This is who we're going to play in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're not playing with us, so we shouldn't play with them. So if it's going to be the Celtics year, they need to take this very seriously, bro. When it's time to face the Bucks in their side of the bracket, I need a 20-point beatdown, bro. You need to show the Bucks y'all not even on the same level. Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, White, Drew Holiday, Al Horford. You're not even on the same level. Our top 6 guys, y'all don't even compete with our top 6. That's what I need to see. I need that mobbing mentality from Tatum. I need Brown to actually. I know we can talk about Brown a little bit, but I know you was hating on Brown saying we need to trade him. But to me, I love the role he's playing. He's giving up the ball faster. Pause. He's getting players involved in the offense. He's getting players involved in the offense. and he's doing what's necessary, and he's actually taking a step back, and he's happy to do so because Porzingis is playing out in this world in his role. I don't mind that.
Hey, what's the status of Porzingis, man? What's the status of them guys over there? He went down with an injury, didn't he? Is he back in the lineup? What he doing?
He did. I mean, I expect him to be back. From what I'm understanding, it's minor. You know what I'm saying? I expect him to be back, especially by the 7th. So we got a little time. So I expect him to be back. He should be good. So with that being the case, now this is a measuring stick. I want nothing more than for us to be in the finals against whoever's in that Western Conference bracket. But we need to take this seriously. In my opinion, this is do or die for mentality. Because Dame smells blood, bro. Dame knows, this team, man, they not even prepared over there. Come June, we're gonna be able to exploit this.
Hey, y'all just went against these guys though. At one point, y'all was up by like 25 on these cats, man.
We beat them up a little bit, man. We beat them up a little bit, but you see what happened. You see what happened in that game.
Yeah, they came back. Dame got a series.
Made it a dogfight.
Yeah,
made it a dogfight. I only care about 2 teams in the entire NBA. And this is no disrespect to your Lakers, bro, because they just got to figure some things out over there. I thought y'all bench was going to be better. I think you thought their bench was going to be better. And LeBron's still having to do way too much over there. AD needs to wake up. But no disrespect to your Lakers, because I actually respect them. They made it to the West Conference Finals last year. But in my opinion, there's only 2 teams that the Celtics need to be afraid of. One is by an old white dude from Slovenia who can't jump on a curve, and the other one is with a killer named Damian Lillard, who's teamed up with the MVP of the league, in my opinion, and the best player in the NBA, and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Between those two, those are the only 2 teams you should fear. So anytime you get a chance to compete with them on a high level, get it done. No excuse. Period.
I feel that, G, man.
Come on,
I'm
man.
excited.
You see the niggas in your bracket, take care of them, bro. Stop playing with them. Don't play with your food.
He's sounding off.
Stop playing with these dudes, bro. Come down, man.
He is sounding off on the Celtic Nation, dog.
Tired of these dudes. Let's go.
Nah, man. I got good odds for you guys, man. I mean, I think you guys are NBA title favorites to win it all. I'm excited to see what you guys do in this tournament. Hopefully it's another Boston-LA rivalry. I think that'll always make some great entertainment in basketball.
I gotta shake that bench up. I want to see y'all in the finals, because I think that would be amazing.
Man.
Shake that bench up, and you gotta get LeBron some rest. We gonna circle back to the NBA world, man. But it's a lot going on everywhere, man. It's kind of hard pause. Woo, man. Yeah, you gotta almost pause anything nowadays with the niggas out here. Pause everything, man. It's definitely tough and difficult landscape for some guys out here. Sean Combs being one of them, man. Recently over the last month, he got hit with a lawsuit from one particular person that many people know, Cassie, who I'm a fan of. Hate to kind of see her career took the redirection it took, because I was a fan of her music and a fan of just who she was, how she looked, of course, and thought she was going to be somebody that was going to be in the light for some time. But relationships can sometimes knock people off their horse. You know what I mean? Or change the direction of their course. And that's kind of what happened for Cassie, man. But it was I want to say it was a 9-page or a 90-page lawsuit with a bunch of details of kind of the stuff that was going on in that relationship. She was going after $30 million. That lasted approximately 24 hours. Settled soon after that. And in my estimation or guesstimation, I think she probably got half. Who knows? And apparently she's been trying to get that money for about 6 months. So I think once it went public, he was just like, let's get this out of the news. And following that, man, a bunch of lawsuits have been coming out, not only against him, but just, Hollywood stars and people in power. So, man, how do you feel about all this madness that's going on here, man? Where do you lie with some of this stuff? How do you feel? Are you still spraying Sean John cologne and buying socks? Hey, man. Hey, let me say this, bro. Diddy, I mean this with all disrespect, bro.
All disrespect, dog.
Bro, you are nasty work, man. You are nasty, nasty work, bro. You are nasty work. Let me tell you something. Cats have gotten crucified for much less than what Diddy is being accused of.
Yeah, man.
And so, in my opinion, we got to be real about this, bro. Like, we can't continue to vilify the R. Kellys of the world, you know, Mike Jacksons of the world, who I actually think doesn't get enough scrutiny. God rest his soul, but I got to be real, he don't.
Wow, ooh, you going for the gusto on this podcast, baby?
Listen, it's time, bro. I can't continue to hold back.
Hey, let's go.
But what Diddy's being accused of from both men and women is egregious.
Yeah.
And so, like my thing is like, bro, like, why do we continue to let this man slide? And why, at the face of potentially being blackballed, are due to men and women who say that they're unadulterated in their content, not discuss this? Bro, we barely get a peep even from the Breakfast Club. And when they mention it with such fear, respect, and reverence. You barely know what's going on.
Wow.
Well, it was reported that Diddy potentially, possibly, somehow, maybe
allegedly
down the line. Bro, we using all these words. Diddy, what did he do, bro? You know what I'm saying? And so, like, at the end of the day, like, it just goes to show you that the people with power can barely be touched. But to me, that begins to propagate some of the same foolishness that we hate to see in the culture. Yeah. So, like, look, bro, if you want to put an end to it, you want to put a stop to it, the first thing you need to do is attack the person who has all the status that would allow you to shy away from the topic. Mm. It's so funny, bro. Like, Ray Rice was talking about how, you know, essentially his mistake killed his career in the NFL because when he slapped his girl in the hallway.
Yeah.
And he was saying, but you know what, though? When I reflect on it, if it took me being the sacrificial lamb, if you will, for my mistake, for there to be a no tolerance policy on domestic violence, even though I was the perpetrator, then so be it. And I think we need to take that same approach. Look, bro, if we gotta kill Diddy, as much as I love them Bad Boy classics, take that, you know, and all that good stuff. Like, if we gotta kill Diddy, bro, you know what I'm saying? In order for this stuff to not be tolerated, especially with some of the, you know, the alphabet community stuff that he been a part of. Pause with all the stuff he been saying to men that's been wild. All the stuff he's been reportedly doing to women that's been wild. I'm like, nah, bro, we need to get this dude out of here. So, like,
hey, yo, right quick, inform the audience for us, man. I think it was you that was in the group chat that was letting us know the history of the term daddy. What's all that about, right quick?
Yeah. So,
because he's been known to call grown man daddy, right?
Yeah, he has. And I'll say this: I for the record, I do think that I have this belief. I'm gonna answer your question, but I have this belief. I'm gonna just say it real fast, 2 seconds. I have this belief that, look, bro, there's only so many times you can accuse a straight heterosexual man of being gay until there's got to be some truth to it. So somebody could jump out the window and say, yo, Kenny, you're gay. All right, cool. If it's one person, bro, I'm not tripping. If it's 3 people, I might raise an eyebrow.
Yeah.
If it's 12, I'm getting worried. If it's 20, nah, nigga, you did something. So as far as I'm concerned, Diddy is suspect at the very least. He's done some type of experimenting. So let me say that. Let me put that out the window. Okay. Now, with that being said, Daddy, though, or yo, Daddy, that shirt fly, whatever the case may be. I know that sounds wild to the general public.
It sounds wild, man.
It sounds wild, and I'm not negating that. I'm not negating that, especially in today's culture, that sounds crazy. However, in the early '90s, the late '90s, and I would even go as far as the early 2000s. Okay. Daddy in New York was like saying Playboy. It was like saying Big Dog today. It was like saying, you know, cuz. It really was. Like, I mean, my Uncle Rick has been in the Bronx and from the Bronx from as long as I can remember. And every dude that he used to hang around, yo, come on, Daddy, look how much the shoes cost. And these were some of the hardest dudes you ever meet. I mean,
how much the shoes cost is crazy.
Yeah, I'm talking about dudes that will take the life of your grandmother and be in church in the front row was saying Daddy, bro. And these cats was not the type of dudes you wanted to even insinuate that they was on some type of pause time.
Yeah.
So with that being the case, when you hear Diddy being from New York and being that old and from that culture, saying that, even though he's suspect, that comment or that phrase is not as suspect as it sounds. That's all I'll say on that.
Wow. Yeah, man, that's interesting. Yeah, that was new to me when you said that. Yeah, I'm only familiar with the daddy term as, that's kind of being something that women are calling guys for whatever particular reason. But yeah, man, the Diddy situation is nasty work all around, man. It's unfortunate, I'm one of the guys that kind of just almost have to see or get some type of, action like this to happen for me to really start investigating and believing there's truth to it. But a partner, of 10 years plus of Cassie, you know what I mean? Like in the details that was in that lawsuit paperwork, man, was just utterly ridiculously detailed to the point where, you would have to be some type of architect with words to come up with some of the stuff she was describing, or just have to have lived that, you know what I mean? And definitely not a promoter of, domestic violence in almost any fashion. And especially not, women in those type of situations. So it's an unfortunate thing, dog. I am also, while I don't support that stuff and would bash anybody that's done stuff like that, I somehow can separate the music from the individual. That What's Love, or not What's Love, that album that he just came out with recently on Love Records, it's crazy because it just got Grammy nominated. And you can tell Tyler was behind this because all that stuff came out once the Grammy nominations came out. You know what I mean? I heard they taking Sean John out of the stores. I didn't know they were still in stores. You know what I mean? And then he just stepped down from Revolt as well. What you was about to jump into though? What you talking about?
Whoa, he just stepped down from Revolt? I did not know that last piece of information. That's dope.
Yeah,
okay.
He just stepped down from that too. So.
Yeah, I mean, all the thing I would say is, listen, the music, Diddy's music has always spoken for itself. So we can't act like the music is not good enough to be nominated. The nomination is well deserved. Diddy definitely gave R&B vibes in a way that if you don't at least feel a good portion of the album, you hate. That album's still in rotation, so I got to be honest about that. However,
yeah,
I can't. And here's the thing. Let me just be clear. As a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ, bro, I'm not a believer in cancel culture. And so, despite that man's mistakes, what I want to see for him is redemption. He does need to get out of here, but he needs to get out of here for the sake of being restored. And I want to make sure that I make that clear as well. Like, I'm not somebody who would say, yo, somebody does something wrong or even egregious, get him out of here for good. It would be more so, get him out of here for the sake that this be exposed and for a level of retribution to come from the situation, in hopes that brother would then learn the lesson, make good with all the people he got to make good with in the situations he got to make good with, and be able to come back to society a healthy human being. So I just want to make sure that that's clear as well. In light of that though, hey man, if you say the music's trash, you trip, you hate it, and that's just got to be what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody's calling, that at least this recent album trash, they just definitely influenced by his actions, which, we are human, man. Most people don't do it, won't do it, and can't do it. But you know what I mean? I try to be as fair as possible. And I'm also another person that's not really co-signing or enabling cancel culture. And I'm not necessarily saying bashing or scrutinizing or criticism is even can't do all of that. Like all of that is fair, just to the fact where you're trying to strip guys of any path of redemption, like you said, or recovering from that personally and then externally with the community and universally. You know what I mean? I think people should always have that opportunity to still be able to come back, make a honest living and what have you, and go on from there. So I definitely feel that, man. It was also another person kind of caught in the same light, but it's being definitely handled a lot differently, I would say. Josh Giddey, man, what's going on with this guy? Man, I mean, he was the last guy I seen that was going down this path, man. You familiar with what he's up to lately?
Unfortunately, yes. Unfortunately, as a proponent of the NBA and somebody who takes our craft very seriously.
Yeah.
Even before our craft, though, I knew about Josh Giddey. Excellent player, Australian point guard for Oklahoma City Thunder. white kids got the juice. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. You watch him play on the court vision out of this world. Throws teammates open, and he's tough for his position. So to hear that he was on some foolishness, I was like, well, what is going on? And then to find out that he potentially has an inappropriate relationship with a 15-year-old girl is crazy. Don't understand that. And for more reasons than one. Let me just say this. Can I be real on the pod for a minute, man?
What you got? Let me see what you got. Pause. What we doing, Dad?
Let me talk to the fellas, man. Like, look. I know a lot of us brothers now, especially these days, are trying to do right, and so am I, and I appreciate that, man. Like we're really trying to live upstanding lives, you know what I'm saying, and not move how we used to move. I would say this though: a lot of us don't sign contracts for $20 million, and don't have additional endorsement deals for another $40 million, and also don't stay at the best hotels in the country. 8 months out of 12, per year, and don't have groupies and millions of women and fans at our leisure to just choose from any night that we go to any city. So I'm often baffled when I see a young white kid in his 20s with more money than he knows what to do with more possibilities of the female persuasion than he knows what to do with. And for somehow he says, man, I think it would be a great idea to talk to a teenager. With all those women in the locker room, with all those women waiting by the bus for you to sign an autograph, with all those women waiting at the Westin Hotel in every city, in the Four Seasons or the Omnis or wherever you staying, you decide, let me go to the local high school and talk to Cassie and get her number and start a relationship with her. Doesn't make any sense to me, bro. And so it's going to be hard for me to show grace to this cat. When, dog, you have your pick of the litter, and you ain't even got to be handsome playing in the NBA, bro. You ain't got to have no swag, no game. You ain't got to be able to do nothing. All you got to do is show an NBA jersey, and you can get 90% of these women that be waiting by the locker room who look better. Listen, it just don't make no sense to me, dog. And this is, you want to talk about nasty work? This is nasty work. Let me catch a grown man in the NBA making millions of dollars around my 15-year-old daughter. I promise you. That same shotgun you trying to avoid, bro, you going to get it, bro. I'm telling you. Pause. I'm telling you I'm shooting you square in the face, bro. That's crazy. That's nuts. What is wrong? Go ahead, word. I'm done. I
agree with everything you said. I didn't really have any strong takes on this, man. I just thought it was something that was in the same wheelhouse as the Diddy situation. Just nasty work. When you jump into nasty work, pause, you just might as well get as nasty as pause, bro. Hey, bro, I gotta stop, bro. That bro was about to go left out of the world, dog. That was just nasty work, man. On to the next, man. We done with that. Bro, we done with that bullshit, man. That is just nasty work. Woo, man. Woo, all right. God. Woo, man. For all of the dogs, man, here we are. Yeah, man. So, what was it, man? 2 weeks ago or sometime, man? Your boy, Drizzy Drake Rogers said, you know what? I'm coming back for seconds. I was just telling somebody to, Drake don't play the Deluxe game. And then soon, and I guess I can still say it because this was kind of like the Scary Hours 3 series, which is its own series of projects. And it's technically the third installment of the Scary Hours 3. And man, he basically delivered for all the people that said the nigga couldn't rap or get in that bag no more, or just couldn't really, get with the shits anymore. And most people I heard when it came out, man, they was like, man, the guy went 6 for 6. When I finally got to it, I said, yeah, that's pretty accurate. And by this time, Father of the Dogs had been out, I want to say, for about a month. I'm already like knee deep into the album, and it's being like in heavy rotation. And it's only just reboosted everything that I was already feeling, just with more of like the rapidy rap Drake. And man, I honestly feel like Father of the Dogs is gonna age really well. Especially when you include now this last batch of 6 records. I immediately said it's going to be around something around like Thank Me Later. Thank Me Later was like that album that squeezed between greats. I think you a person that actually like probably feel a little bit more fond of the Thank Me Later. Not that it's a bad album. I just feel like the two albums around it, So Far Gone, Take Care, or just like it's kind of steals it thunder. You know what I mean? So I feel like this has a chance to be somewhere in that realm. Maybe even possibly Views, because Views was one of those albums that was kind of like when it first dropped, the expectations superseded what was delivered. But as you pull those expectations back and just listen to the album, it got better with time. And honestly, I feel like Views is aged into a classic. And Father of the Dogs, I mean, I think is only going to get better with plays. And he's about to go on tour. He's coming to St. Louis 2 times. I may be there twice. You know what I'm saying? On the floor, may go up to the rafters just to get a different view. And yeah, man, I'm well fed off this album. And he's constantly just proving like anybody that's in a race with this guy, you might as well just kind of take it easy and let him just drift off into paradise. Because, I mean, this guy's far beyond anybody else, man. What's your take on this album and how we feeling, man? What we doing?
Yeah. I said this to many people. I'm in a couple of group chats and people came to me and asked my opinion. I think we owe Arbery, Do Right and Kill Everything, Graham an apology. We owe him an apology. If you was hating beforehand, the hate gotta stop, bro.
Yeah, man.
What he did in this 6-pack, in this Scary Hour 6-pack, bro, was phenomenal. Let me say this. This is no gas. If you are somebody who doubts Drake, just play one record. Go into your search bar, Apple Music, Spotify. Maybe you're not a streaming services person. No problem. I know you watch YouTube. Go pull up your YouTube and go ahead and type in Drake Shoe Fits.
That's the one you wanted to play.
If after you listen to that record, you don't feel differently about his capabilities and the type of feel that he can give us, maybe even the type of feel you've been expecting from him since you felt like there may have been a hiatus in the music and his approach.
Yeah.
You got everything you need in that record, and it's brand new. Possibly one of the best records he's ever penned from a position of cultural relatability, real talk, in some ways a rich nigga's critique on what's happening while also being down to earth to the average person. There's a lot of viewpoint, a lot of perspective in that song, but also a lot of stuff you just got to chuckle and laugh at. He kept humor in it. Yeah. I mean, beautiful balance in that record. One of my favorite records from him. I couldn't even get through the 6-pack at first because I kept running that record back. So wow. There's a few slaps on there. A lot of people gonna be saying F my ex too, and that's just another, there's a reason.
I'm telling you right now, man, when it comes to that the moment he repeated F my ex, I said, oh man, fuck my ex, baby, let's go. Nah, man, not that I meant that, but it was just like, dog, I know that mug is gonna sit in the club, sit in the concert, sit in the tour off, dog. He kept saying it, bro. That's like a F your ex anthem now, bro. Like, I know that mug gonna ring off,
dog. Drake is such a mastermind because on this album, Drake has the literal theme song for Standing on Business, which is the new term that everybody's on right now. He's got the literal theme song for that. And now he has the literal theme song for Getting Back at Your Ex. He has that. He also has the literal twerk song of the summer for next year with the SZA, Sexy Red, and Drake record that a lot of people laughed off, but now that it's hitting radio airwaves, people are blasting that full speed. This dude is so strategic, bro, that like it's getting ridiculous. And here's the thing. I thought I was a Drake fan until I met Word and realized I was a Drake appreciator. I wasn't a Drake fan. Then my boy Raph, shout out to Raph Peters, man, from Mississippi, who now lives in Houston.
Yeah.
Between you two, y'all are Drake fans. Y'all believe if that man sneezed, it was the hardest sneeze of all time. But me not being that dude, I have nothing but praise for this dude, dog. And I honestly feel like if anybody can say less than what he's provided at this stage with that 6-pack that gave, I feel like people who were hungry for a different type of Drake, he satisfied their palate. East Coast Drake is on it. Bars Drake is on it. Anthem Drake is on it. Real Talk Perspective Drake is on it. Grown Drake is on it.
Yeah.
No more words. We can honestly move on. This will be the last thing I say. Drake, man, you did it. You delivered. I hope now you go take your time, bro. Get recharged, re-fall in love with the music, get vacation, get some rest. You've given us what we've needed for a little while. We'll see you if you decide to return. And if you do not, you've had a hell of a career, bro. There's nothing left for you to prove. Go get it, man. Salute. That's it. That's all we gotta say.
Man, that's big of you, man. That's a huge step for you to take. It's nothing for him to do. I think if we go back to the season 1, you had a few things on that list. You got to do this. You got to do.
Absolutely.
Hey man, hey, I appreciate the growth for you, my guy. It's nice to see growth on camera. You know what I mean? Like,
come on, man. It's documented. It's documented.
It's documented, dog. Yeah, man. I ain't really got much to say about that mug either. Honestly, I've been playing that mug left and right. I'm finding my way through the album with records I haven't really played as much because I get stuck on records I love. But what's that one? Tried Our Best. That one now is coming, a high playable one. Polar Opposites and all that stuff has always been one. And then what is this one right here? That the one with both of them with Tizo Touchdown. I really appreciate his vocals on both of those records too, man. But yeah, man, great album, man. I will say he did get cold on that Evil Ways. He got a little payback on that joint, dog. Them niggas was going crazy, but that nigga started carrying after so long, dog. So yeah, man, looking forward to more music, of course, always from Drizzy. Man, back to the 6 side. If you ain't heard, nigga, the 6 ain't never died. Chee! Alone at Prom, Deluxe. This is a Deluxe podcast. You know what I'm saying? Everything's Deluxe, big boy. Coming in with that big noise. What you got for me, boy?
Hey.
Anyways, man, this Alone at Prom, dog.
An amazing listen. Yo, you want to talk about delivery?
Hey, bro. This dude, Tory, to me, hey, honestly, bro, look, you know, I have to keep it a bean. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just got done praising my guy, which is overall my number 1 favorite all-time artist of all time. But this guy we talking about right now. Hey, let me get into it. This guy I'm talking about right now. I mean, every time he comes and delivers something, he's always making me have to rethink that statement. You know what I mean? Like Tory Lanez, dog, you know, he's behind bars, but he's still giving greatness. And let me say this, bro. This has been the greatest album rollout and possibly maybe one of the best albums. I would love to do that, spin an episode on that, like the best albums released behind bars. I would love that. This would honestly probably have to take the cake. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at least be in that conversation. I'm just thinking like off top. I can't really think about too many albums like behind bars. You know what I'm saying? Of recent memory.
Did Pac drop an album behind bars?
Man, that's a tough question. I want to say possibly. I want to say, yeah. I want to say he did. I can't think of the album, but he definitely, I think he got one. I want to say.
Have to go through the rubber again. My bad.
No, you good. Yeah, no, that's an episode for sure. We gonna do that for sure. But man, Alone at Prom, dog, this dude had videos stashed away years ahead of time. I'm guessing just for things like this scenario was to happen. And I mean, it was a whole, basically another album of 10 more songs to the 11 original of the Alone at Prom. Some of the ones I immediately come away with that was my favorite, dog, was definitely off top. Sex Anonymous, Poison Ivy, Alexa Loves It. I also love Crystal Strawberry and the intro Prom King and Love on Acid. So that's easily some of the ones I take away where I'm like, yo, this dude is definitely in that bag of just It's like he went and studied everything in that 80s era and just literally like, bro, almost reinvented that sound and brought it to 2023, dog. Like, I kid you not. I mean, it's almost like the nigga belonged in there. Now, if you know Tory, he kind of probably belongs a lot of places. But, I mean, specifically, it sounded like he was the one they chose to say, hey, remind everybody of what the 80s was really about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just sounds like that, dog. Like, man, this dude constantly still proves to me, dog, as to why artists should never continue to play it safe, bro. He never does. Like, he's one of those guys where you're like, he's not going to look at the landscape and the atmosphere and just recreate what's out there and sound like everybody else. Because at the time he did it, the only thing that was remotely close of what he was attempting to do, which he done, and I honestly believe he done it better, was the After Hours, the Weeknd album. But when you listen to the Weeknd album, it's a difference between the instrumentation. His album is really influenced by the instrumentation of this era, meaning like the synthesizers they're using, versus Tory sound like he went and organically tried to craft the instrumentation from the 80s, dog. And it's a huge difference in the delivery too. I think Tory just got a special ability of just knowing how to channel those vocals, and not even the singing, but the inflections of how they made music back then, specifically like the mics. You know what I'm saying? Like Mike would be almost breathing on the record opposed to even singing on the record. You know what I'm saying? But I know that's long with him, my G, but what you got for me on that joint? Pause.
Listen, the original Alone at Prom, believe we talked about that, last season for a brief moment. I thought that was already a borderline classic. This 10-pack, was it? I believe it was 10, correct?
Yeah, it's a 10-pack.
Yeah, this 10-pack that he provided on top of the already stellar Alone at Prom has to make this, for true music lovers, a classic, especially if you appreciate the timestamp that Tory delivered. Let me tell you something right now. The joints that you pulled out from your list, I second them. And I'll even go this far. If you've been on the fence about Tory Lanez's artistry, or you don't know much about it, and you are somebody who has a wide palette in music, the first thing you need to do is take off whatever you're listening currently to on your playlist, no matter who it is, even if it's Drake. Turn it off, go to Alone at Prom, and give this a listen. That's how good this music is, period. It's incredible. It's crafted. Like he took his time. I always talk about this concept of timeless music, right? Not music that can be made within a vacuum or a microwave or has cultural relevance due to a sound, but who can take music, craft it, tailor it, spend time with it. This idea of slow cooking the production, slow cooking the melodies, slow cooking the process, and by the time it's delivered, it tastes better than anything that's out there.
Yeah.
That's what Alone at Prom is as an album. It's one of the best bodies of work in the last, I don't want to be disrespectful,
I'm telling you.
At least 15 years.
Yeah,
Alone at Prom.
Say that.
Best projects of the last 15 years, bro. So no gas. Here's the thing. Word will tell you. I'm not even a big Tory Lanez fan by no stretch of the imagination. If I'm honest, and I will be on this podcast, I'll be transparent. I've just recently kind of done a deep dive on his music, went and listened to the Chicks tapes, listened to the Deluxe version of Alone at Prom very recently to get an outlook of what made this dude special. Why did people just love his remix of the Everyone Falls, and like tell me what it was. And I have to admit, in going through his catalog and figuring out what this dude was capable of, Tory Lanez might be the greatest chameleon in music. And I don't say that disrespectfully. I say he can take the form of whatever's necessary and deliver at a high level, so much so that those who are at the top of that particular division, he looks just like them, which is why I'm saying he's a chameleon. Not literally all the time in literally their style, but their quality, he can match it. I have to be honest.
Woo.
And so
now that's the greatest statement you have ever made right there. Now the way you delivered that joint off was unruly right there, dog.
And so
Hey, it's facts though.
And so listen, my only retort to Tory and his fans is this: will you be the reason why, as good as your music is, as good as your catalog is, as talented as you are, undoubtedly and undisputedly talented, you rank at the top of some of the dudes who can literally have their hand in the pot and do anything in music? That's not debated. But will you be the person that takes yourself off the table? And I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to that question.
Now what was that? Now what you mean by that? You asking? Re-ask the question again. I didn't understand it. Say it one more time.
So will you be the one that because of your actions overshadows the public's ability to appreciate your greatness? Will you take yourself out of discussions? Will you take yourself off the table? Will you take yourself away from the Mount Rushmore?
You asking that to Tory then?
Yeah, and I'm asking that of Tory Lanez. I'm saying, will you be the reason? Will you stand in your own way for getting people to go, you know what? He was one of the best of our generation. Because right now, I don't think that's a conversation holistically worldwide. I think those who know, and those who don't. And he's doing nothing to change that. If anything, we live in a culture where he's only doing more to prospectively hurt that conversation to go forward. And let me just say this, because I know it's going to be brought up. You have two men talking about Tory Lanez, who was convicted of harming a black woman. Let me be clear. I love black women. I've been with black women. I'm with black women. Like, I love black women. Protect black women at all costs, right? So let me not say that. But I do think there's been some details of that case and those findings that leave us in a precarious position to wonder, with the character that has happened with Meg Thee Stallion, how we should feel about that situation. So though I fully stand in the corner of black women and black women everywhere, I'm just not sure that situation is a credible one. I'm not always sure. So let me be clear about that. But back to Tory, because of those allegations, because of that situation, and because of his actions, I just wonder, will people share in the opinion that me and you have on this project and others? Or if he doesn't get it together? I don't know if he still can. I'm being honest about that as well. I don't know if there's redemption for him in a culture that wants to cancel him, doing something against a black woman who, even though she's not as credible as she's once looked at any point, it's still like you are a black man doing something to a black woman, or allegedly doing something to a black woman, and therefore it puts you in a precarious position with fans worldwide. Same thing with Chris Brown. It's just tough. I hope he doesn't remove himself from the conversation, but Alone at Prom is a masterful body of work. If you are willing to give it a chance, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, stop whatever you're playing. If you're willing to give it a chance, go over there and play that, and I promise you will not be disappointed. It's that good.
We're going to put this up right quick, my guy. We're going to let the people see what's been going on with this guy, man. We're going to do it in real time just like this. You see it?
Let's do it. That's fine.
We're going to do it in real time, baby. All right, guys. My boy just got done running off with the Tory Lanez rant. In slide 1, it's indicating what it looks like when his career is independent, being blackballed, while also having no playlisting. In jail, I love that last line. Highly hated is something new. I've never seen that one, which is nuts. Which is his stats are from 2023, 1.4 billion streams. And then the previous year, slide 2, this is when he did have the playlisting, industry help, what is that? Radio single and a major label push. So I just want to put that in the light to bring context to what we're talking about people that do know versus don't know. I think it's a possibility there may be some redemption to gain some of his feet into where he was headed. I don't ever think he would eclipse or reobtain where he was about to go on the back of, just imagine what is this? Quarantine radio catapulting him to where he was going. Having people like Weeknd and Drake and all these other people on there week in and weeknight, week in and week out. And then Daystar only comes out because of that. But let's say he's innocent. Then that comes. And then Playboy, which is another. I don't even know which one I love more between Playboy or Alone at Prom. Playboy probably would have more rotation just because it's more relevant to where I'm in right now. And then also, you got to think about the chick tapes that followed that and the new Torontos. I mean, bro, he would have been in a different stratosphere at this moment, bro. Like, if that wasn't his situation in the blackballing. But it's still amazing to see that this dude has a cult following to where his numbers are superseding previous years to when he had all the machine and the powers that be behind him. And I think it's a possibility to get some of that redemption back. I do believe it'll be somewhat reminiscent of how it looks for Chris Brown. Chris Brown still has had success after the situation with Rihanna and things of that nature, but I don't ever feel like he gets his flower as he's deserved. And both of these are my guys, man. You know, I honestly love what they do as musicians, dog. And their special talents that I think are just one of ones, man. One of ones. I loved everything you said when you say his notoriety isn't on the level of the people he can go and actually reach up and be at the same level at. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he can go and do exactly what The Weeknd did and do it better. I feel like he showcased it already. And a lot of times I feel like he's already done that for the Drakes of the world. And now on his last album, the Chris Browns of the world, it's nuts. I was listening to this Alone at Prom album like, bro, this is a Chris Brown produced type of record. And he's doing it as if it was made for him. But he's Tory. I'm like, bro, this is nuts. Like, so, man, it's not the issue with him. Talent is not the issue, dog. I think Tory, if you've viewed interviews of himself, he's known and admitted to be somewhat of self-inflicted on some of the things of his career that may have not panned out the way it should. And he's aware of that. But this last, stumble and challenge, it got the best of him when it came to his career. And hopefully, there is a path to redemption where he can regain some of his footing as far as his success and kind of where his career is going or will go. So we shall see, man, and definitely love all black women. I don't really feel the need to regurgitate that too much. On this podcast, we had a podcast where we chopped up all of that. If you want to go check out season 1, you definitely can check out our opinions there. But black love and black women love definitely is a thing over here. So never mistaken that, my G. But we already kind of hinted at the next guy we gonna talk about, man. CB. You know what I'm saying? 11:11 album. Chris Brown. My boy just disappeared on me. I don't know why.
My back. Sorry.
You back now? Yeah, you back now.
Let's get it. All right, let's get it.
Yeah, man. We also, man. Anybody that knows me, man, know I'm in high spirits and in good spirits because literally this podcast is about 3 of the guys that I probably love the most, pause, as far as musicians and artists. Chris Brown, Tory Lanez, and Drizzy Drake Rogers. It can't get no better for me. But yeah, man, 11:11 came out as well over these last few weeks or so, maybe a month ago, maybe. And it came out 11:11, yeah, so almost a month ago. And this album, man, my first listen, I didn't really go into this album with much expectations. I kind of always look to really appreciate any music that comes from Chris Brown because he really can't do much wrong musically for me. And first listen, it was just like immediate thoughts. It was just a good listen, solid listen. There was a huge impression on Afro beats and that sound. And it wasn't the fact that it was poor or low quality. It was just a heavy emphasis on it. That made me come away with just saying, yo, Chris Brown is literally has to be the best American Afro beat musician and artist that's taken up that sound and kind of catapulted it to the rest of America. And honestly, man, he would be my favorite impression or servant of that type of music just because I understand more of his actually lyricism and kind of how he Americanized it. I know like the actual organic or authentic Afrobeat culture may actually give that as a knock. But I actually think he does it very well. He was one of the first ones to go and pick up a Kid, do songs with DeVito and things of that nature. It really seems to like take a liking in a real authentic approach of the Afrobeat culture. And he's done it well, man. The second half of the album really picked up on the R&B side. I got a lot of records I like on her as far as like Messed Up. I love that stutter. Oh man, stutter is like a great balance of old CB, but also still him doing his thing in 2023. You know what I'm saying? Like
stutter sounds nostalgic. Stutter sounds nostalgic for sure.
Nostalgic, production wise, sure. but he's definitely doing what he's supposed to be doing on there. I love Midnight Freak. Sensational is amazing. The one that's really taken off that everybody's loving is actually the intro, Angel Numbers in 10 Toes. But that healing energy on me, I'm with that mug, boy. Like, so man, all in all, man, this mug quickly went from good to great. And man, I've been playing this mug when I'm cleaning the crib. I'm playing it in the whip. Of course, he got the joints you can go turn up to. And yeah, man, it's actually, I think, one of his better albums. I think he's trending to be somewhere in his top half of his album. If he has 11 albums, I probably would put it somewhere around the actual 5.5 mark. But yeah, man, that's kind of my immediate thoughts on it, man. How we feeling about it, G?
Yeah, listen to it. Definitely liked it. Let me tell you something about Chris Brown, man. He's been giving us a lot of music recently, and I actually think it's a smart play for his future. The reason why I say that is because I think about the last project that had 30 records on it? Is that what the last project had?
Yeah, with the Deluxe, yep, Breezy.
Yeah, the Deluxe joint had like 30, Breezy had 30 records on it. So 30 records here, another 22 here for this record. 11,
and the Deluxe is loading.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But I think the legacy play is he's become comfortable understanding that he's not going to get the love in his current space. Yeah. It's going to take him either to retire or to unfortunately pass for us to take a real deep dive look at what he's accomplished. But by the time we do so, he will have flooded us with so much music that we'll be able to appreciate it post whatever that occurrence is.
Yeah.
And that's the way I'm beginning to listen to Chris Brown's music. So let me say it this way. I like the project if we're talking about this project. I like it more for what it will become in 10 to 20 years. Mm. It sounds like Chris Brown is trying to implant himself with a particular sound, with a particular quality, with a particular understanding of his skill set that is not meant to fully be appreciated on this side of time. And I could be wrong about that, bro. But I feel like if me and him were sitting in the booth and I would make that statement to him, he would say, "Okay, you get it." I say all that to say, yes, definitely records I love on there for sure. Definitely records that will be in rotation for a long time. But Chris Brown always has that.
Yeah.
I will say this of Chris though, and this is only because I hold him in such high regard. I think that I am looking for Chris Brown to switch his approach. Because Chris Brown, like many artists who are great, has a formula that will work essentially every time. I don't know if you used to watch young LeBron, but they used to tell LeBron, "Hey, why take a three? Why take a midi? If you put your shoulder down and you drive, that's a bucket.
It's a bucket. Period. Still is.
It's a bucket. There's really no reason for you to have to do anything else, even though I guess we know you can to some level.
Yeah.
Just do that." I think Chris Brown, I'm actually looking for the opposite. Hey, look, man, as far as I'm concerned, Chris, nothing for you to literally prove. Yeah. You've averaged 30 for the last 20 years if we're keeping sports references alive. But now that you have a full catalog under your belt, I would love for you to get somebody who people would not expect you to work with and make a project with production that would stretch you. I expect Chris to do Afro beats type stuff that will get people bouncing and moving. I expect him to make a certain pop type sound in record that can be somewhere on the Hot 100. I expect that, and billboards, whatever. What I don't expect is for him to sit down with like a Timberland and do what Justin Timberlake did for 2020 Experience, which I think was a classic R&B album. Part one. What I don't expect of him is to give me 6 or 7 records with Pharrell that are kind of different from his production palette at this stage of his career, and say create from this. So,
yeah, I think that's tough. The reason I think that's tough is because he's a performer and dancer at heart. I don't know, maybe equally as he is as a singer, but I think he sees himself as a performer before anything. That's probably his greatest, attribute, honestly, is his performance.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's head and shoulders over any other R&B singer in that lane. And you honestly can tell that when he's making the music, dance and performance is being incorporated in that process. Like me, I'm a rapper. I'm not even thinking about. So when you talk about even the production, you know what I mean? A Pharrell or Timberland, I'm sure those guys have the ability to be able to make stuff that can still somewhat serve that. But I think, that is a tough ask. Now, I mean,
It is.
Yeah, if he's willing to do something like that, I think he would maybe an older Chris Brown when he's not as performative. You know what I mean? Possibly.
Okay. I'll say this. What I would want from Chris Brown at this stage is not necessarily what it's giving me. And here's what I mean by that. He has nothing more to really give us. He's like a Drake in the sense that technically now we can say, okay, you kind of checked off all the boxes. Anything you give us at this point, it's just because you want to have fun. Like your legacy solidified. I feel that way about Chris. But what I am saying is Drake also gave us Honestly Nevermind, which no matter how you feel about that project, it was him doing something for a different group of people that I think there was interest for.
Yeah.
And so for me, Chris's Honestly Nevermind would be a project with that type of production. Hey, this isn't for the stage. This isn't for the tour. This is for music lovers, R&B heads, and people who care about the deep sound of what it means to put together the original art form of vocals, amazing production, chord progression, that type of thing. Because I think he's capable of all of that, as we know. We just have never gotten an album like that from him, or at least we haven't gotten one in a long time. And I would love to see him do his version of an urban Honestly Nevermind for the people. That would be really dope. So, yeah, about 1111, good project, solid project, good music, definitely bops you will have on your playlist for a while. Solid project. Will fit, like you said, fit somewhere in his catalog, agree with all that. Just would love to get that project from him. That's all I got to say on Chris. Salute to him. He's solidified.
Oh yeah, man. Chris is definitely man. I mean, literally, these are probably like my top 3 artists of all time. Yeah, man. Drake, Tory, Chris. Literally, I mean, I don't even know where to go after that, but for sure, man. Great music. I'm well fed right now in this season of life. It's my favorite season, fall, with all the guys dropping music that I love. So really can't complain much. Man, outside of that, man, when it comes to music, we can take a look at kind of, okay, let me get this on how I'm over here doing this right now, right? See, this is what I'm talking about.
What you got going over there, bro?
People calling, phones just come on up, man. Nah, man, anyways, man, we could give a couple shout outs to some music that's recently came out outside of the ones we kind of gave some real reviews and recaps of. I did like that duo tape from Meek and Ross. I will stand by this statement. Meek flow is undefeated. All time, he has the #1 best flow in the history of hip hop. You can quote that.
What?
Easy. It's not even a question. I mean, anybody you want to, I'm telling you, flow wise, bro, when he talking about getting in them pockets, I mean, honestly, bro, because of his flow, dog, and energy, he probably has the greatest intro of all time.
Now,
and you know what I'm talking about.
Now you're getting the
Now, flow-wise, I mean, I would love that. That's a conversation. We gonna do that, dog. We gonna do that. That's kind of what we supposed to be on with this podcast. Top flows, best album released behind bars while in jail. We gotta remember these statements right now. But man, I think the album with him and Ross was actually dope. I didn't see many people talk about it. It only sold about 30,000 in the first week. But honestly, bro, I love the record. It bangs in the whip. It bangs in the gym. Both of them have some standout verses on there, man. I love what they did on 800 Carats. I love the Pillow Talk. I even like the two singles they gave us. I think it was Lyrical Easy and something else. And I didn't see many people rave about it. As we just got done talking about a whole bunch of other music that probably is stealing some of the thunder. But as a rapper that still loves rap and niggas that like to bar up and flex their flows, I was here for it, dog. Did you get a chance to check it out?
So here's the thing, bro. Because I was listening to the other records, I was listening to Tory a lot to really compare and say what I had to say and be able to feel good about what I was saying and believe it with conviction. Yeah. Obviously, Drake has been in consistent rotation and CB having to really get to that because it had been a while since I really had given Chris a hardcore listen, so I was on that. I ain't gonna lie. Besides the core singles and little snippets that I've heard on social media, I haven't sat down with the joint project from Meek. I did hear the freestyle on Funk Flex and watched the video of Ross dancing and doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what that was about.
That nigga Ross, dog.
I heard Meek in his bag. I heard the singles and I heard the snippets from the project, but I haven't given it a holistic listen. I want to, and it's definitely on my list. And I love both of those dudes. Let me tell you something about Meek, man. Well, Ross, let me say this. Ross is highly underrated. Ross is in my top 10, as far as, especially if we're talking new artists, 100%. Like, if we're talking this era, man, Ross might be teetering top 5, low key, in my opinion, for me. So that's how I feel about Ross. And then Meek, man, prior to that Drake stuff happening, bro, Meek was so on fire for me, dog. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, Meek used to give me break. Listen. Beat up braids, Meek fresh, like that Meek fresh from Philly, hungry, starving,
nappy braids. Hey, now Meek, man, Meek is like probably in my top 5 favorite artists of mine too. Like he has a lot of influence on my early raps and when anytime I really want to bar up or really get in that bag of flows and cadences, he's definitely somebody that always has given me that green light as far as like getting in that bag and just getting certain vibe. Like anytime that nigga get on one of them records, dog, anytime, dog, and he even steps out. Like even that Uptown record with Fabulous and it was somebody else on there. Uptown, like that mug was crazy. He can get in different bags even when it come to his flow, bro. So man, and I never forget the line that Ross said. I think he said top 10 and nobody's favorite. I felt that mug because I'm like, yo, this nigga honestly is in that atmosphere to be in that conversation. And literally you won't meet too many people where Rick Ross, I'm a fan of Ross, but he's not my favorite. So to have that and to have that type of feat is crazy, bro. Like top 10 and no one's favorite is a crazy line, and it's possibly can be a conversation as being true, dog. So I thought that was a fire record, man. Recently it really ain't too much other stuff that I was.
Did we talk about Offset's album?
I was just about to say that. I don't. You know what? I think we may have talked about it. I don't know, but that month was crazy though. That's one of my favorites of this year too.
Hey, that's one of my favorite lists in 2023. I know people don't take Offset seriously because people sometimes
you got to after this. Seriously. You got to after this album, bro.
Listen, I'm telling you. Let me say this: if you weren't a Migos fan, that does not matter when you listen to Offset. Yeah. Offset has become a full range, holistic artist. He actually has, bro. Offset don't just make that. Hey, son of a. No, he don't just make that Offset project.
Let me tell you this. Offset is going to go off the rails and give you, now he's not as talented as a Tory type of guy, but I can see him being in the realm of somewhere what Yachty just gave us earlier this year. Did you listen to that album? Where he was really experimental? Mm-hmm. And then in the spaces of that being his floor, in Tory Alone at Prom being the ceiling. Like he can be somewhere in the realm of giving us something like that. He's already a Mike Jack fan. He always make references. He was a dancer. Like I can see him definitely. And them niggas and all them niggas in the Migos always kind of harmonized and got on they singing notes and shit like that back and forth. So I could definitely see him giving us something like that in the near future on this next album for sure, bro.
Listen,
for sure. And I'm looking forward.
Between Father of Four and this album, Offset actually has a small body of work that must be taken seriously.
Leaps and bounds. Nigga, it's leaps and bounds the growth from that first freshman project to this sophomore project. I'm a different artist, 100%.
Bro. I definitely agree with that. He's got hits with Don Toliver on there. Yeah. He's got Travis Scott on there. He's also got Travis Scott's plugins on there on other records. Oh, yeah.
he got Travis Scott vocal chain. I said that immediately when I heard that.
Absolutely. Listen, he's got some stuff that I feel like Drizzy would have been perfect for in that project.
Oh man, yeah. I gotta go listen to the record. We both said that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, some of them records sound like they were tailor-made for
tailored.
And do something spectacular. So let me tell you, great body of work. If you are looking for something to listen to in the gym, on your drive, whatever, I haven't listened to the new Meek, but I trust Word's opinion on that. I'm gonna get to the new Meek probably, so I'll have something to say about it maybe next pod at the beginning, just to give y'all my take. But I have listened to it. What we both listened to was Offset. I remember sending it to him and say, "Hey, not gonna hold you. I know we've got some great albums this year, but this Offset might be my favorite listen. Maybe not the best, but my favorite listen." And it's a really good project. Man.
It's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites for sure this year. So I feel that, dog. But man, I know we didn't get to the Grammy nominations, dog. We'll get to them before they actually get going. I think the Grammys, the last weekend of January or first weekend of February, one of them. Yeah. But we'll get to them before it comes up, man. I think I felt pretty good about most of what I saw. Maybe it been a couple snubs, but yeah, we definitely gonna get to that, dog. Man, we out here trying to get y'all podcast episodes to y'all, man, more than you know. It's definitely been a task, but your boy still gonna get it going. You already know how that go. Man, what's popping though, man? What you got going on in your world outside of here, man? Podcast, what you got going on as far as TX? What we doing down there, Doc?
Yeah. So a lot of stuff moving and shaking at the moment, bro. I'll be doing some content coming up shortly that will be released on some other podcasts. Shout out to my man from Dallas, who was one of the Rapzilla artists to look out for on the Christian rap side, named Mikey J. Me and him will be sitting down for a conversation about his new album, Do Rag Tech, which is a really good body of work. Work with him on some writing projects as well that we both were a part of. So yeah, you'll be looking out for that content. Matt Black podcast will be making a return. I'm shooting the season now in a new studio, new production team with a group of individuals. So that will be coming. But yeah, man, just working, and then just in life, man, just trying to get on the grind in all areas. Trying to get in better shape. So I'm trying to look better on camera, man, clean up the eating and all that. And I was looking at old episodes. I was like, yeah, I was chunky, man. I'm trying to get down, man. So if you notice. If you play this one, and you play some of the others, you'll be able to see the difference. But that's it. That's it for me, G. What you got going on in your world?
That's what's up, man. Congratulations on that health journey, dog. You know I'm always, man, if they only knew our group chat, dog. I'm gonna keep it at y'all. I said I play the politic game right now. I ain't gonna do buddy like that, but man, I'm always
don't do it like that, dog.
I'm always trying to.
He might be on the pod one day.
He might be, dog. He might be, and when he does, I will let him know that day. So yeah, I'm gonna keep it a bean with him, dog. But I'm always, trying to encourage any of my homies, any of the guys. You know what I mean? I don't necessarily do the females, but the guys, man, to get on their health tip and get in shape, man. And look, bro. I work out. I'm about to start the 75 Hard 2.0 literally in 2 days, December 1st. But honestly, it's not even about looking good for me. It's all a mental stimulation for me, dog. I think the mental is where it starts for most people. You know what I mean? But for me, definitely, it's a mental routine that I just acquire with also doing the physical workout. So that's what it really is for me, dog. So I'm always trying to put cats in that headspace of getting on that treadmill of life and, doing what they supposed to do. But outside of that, man, a lot of content coming, dog. I'm shooting a lot of content. Lots to change with the job title and not necessarily the career path, but the trajectory of things in the career path. But I'm enjoying it, man. You know what I mean? I'm really enjoying it. I got something special coming up on the What's Word YouTube channel for the 50th anniversary year in hip hop. I know it's almost coming to an end. It's been a grind to try to get this video, dog. We have 499 videos for the channel. Yeah, I know y'all wondering why haven't I did a reaction for the Chris Brown or the Tory or the Drake? Well, it's because of this reason. And it's been a grind to get it done. But we almost done with it. And it'll be coming before the year's out because it'll be pointless to drop in 2024. It'll be the 51st anniversary of that year. So anyways, yeah, that's what's been going on, man. This is season 2, episode 2. Speaking of content, this is definitely going to be a push to get this bi-weekly, man. Stay on this. Get in the comments. We going to grind and make sure we get this content to y'all, man. But outside of that, man, make sure y'all hit that like, comment, subscribe button if you already haven't. The Word of Clarity, you can catch us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, of course. And y'all be running it up on all of the platforms. Y'all really bang with the clips for sure. So keep it up, man. Rocking with y'all till next time. We out here. Got my boy Word of Clarity and Word and Clarity out of this joint. We gone. You heard? Chee, my guy. All right, man.